Okay, so this second video is on the study guide stuff. So the sequence of transformations is just a combination of transformations. So in the notes part here, you can just basically be write combining. So combination. Whoops. Combination of transformations. Okay, so you're going to graph and label each figure and its image under the sequence of transformations. So what we're going to do is basically take these initial points, reflect them across the x-axis first, and then translate them. This rule for translation is 9 units right and 2 units up. So really what we're doing in this is making sure that you can do any type of transformation in any order. So you would start off plotting these points, and you can fast forward through me laboriously plotting these. Okay, so you would plot -3, 7, and then -2, 1 for y, and -5, 2 for z. Alright, so you're going to have 3 triangles here because you're going to do the transformation for part A first, and then from that transformation that you get in part A, you're going to transform to part B. So that's the original figure. Those are the 3 points. Then I want to first reflect this across the x-axis. So a reflection, remember, is a flip across the x-axis. So we're going to take this figure and we're going to flip it down this way. So really what that means is everything is a certain distance from the line of reflection, and we want to mirror that. So y is 1 unit above the line of reflection, so we want to go 1 unit below the line of reflection for y prime. Z is 2 units above, so we want to go 2 units below, and z prime will be here. And then x is 7 units above, so I go to -7 below. Okay, so those are my intermediate points. That's points. I'm just going to make it a dotted line so you can tell that that's not really my final answer because I still have to do the second transformation for B, part B. But that's where I'm going to be transforming the translation from. Okay, and then we're going to translate everything 9 units right and 2 units left. So that's what this second transformation is. So all of these points are going to move 9 units to the right. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, and 2 units up. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, and 2 units up. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, and 2 units up. Okay, so these are going to be my final answer after I performed the reflection and the translation. Okay. Okay, so then a quick check is that, well, yeah. So if this was 1 unit up and 3 away, this needs to be 1 and 3 away. 4 and 2, just making sure I'm plotting all these right. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 5 up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 5 and 2. Okay, so that's it. So now we're just going to identify what these coordinates are from the origin. So z is at 4, 0, z prime. 7, 1 for y. 6, -5.
Parker, just go over. If you're on campus, please come to the main office. Parker, just go over. If you're on campus, please come to the main office.
Okay, number 2, we're going to be translating it first. So vector form just means we're going to go right and down. Every point's going to move right 7 and down 5. Then we're going to reflect it across the line y equals -3. So it's really important that you remember that this is a horizontal line going through where y is -3. So -2, -4, -6, -8. So y is -3 would be this line is the line of reflection. Okay, so I'm going to take my points, plot them in pen. Then I'm going to move every point for part A. I'm going to move every point 7 units to the right, 5 units down. Should be very comfortable with all these transformations for the test. So 7 units right, so 2, 4, 6, 7. and 5 units down. 2, 4, 5. 2, 4, 6, 7, 2, 4, 5. 2, 4, 6, 7, 2, 4, 5. Okay. So those are the dotted lines are going to be all my like part A transformations. Okay, then I wanted to take these transform points of part A and flip it across x equals -3, which is this, y equals -3, which is this horizontal line. So h prime is 1 point away, so I'm going to go 1 point away. G is 1, 2, 3, 4. And 4 for I prime. This ruler's kind of big and cumbersome with all the stuff that's on my desk. Okay, so those would be the first two, and then the coordinates for this would be 1, -7, 6, -4, and 6, -7. Okay, just 6 more to try. So this one we're going to be translating all of these points and then rotating them around the origin. Okay, so if you translate them, okay, I'm going to start to do some of these without graphing them. So translating these, just to use the rule, you would actually just add 4 to each of these numbers and add 10 to each of the y coordinates. So P will become P, Q, R, and S. If I add 4, it's going to become 3. If I add 10, it's going to become 7. Q is going to be 7 and 6, 8 and 2, and 4 and 3. Then we're going to rotate them counterclockwise. So if you have the counterclockwise rules memorized, we're going to do -yx. So -yx is just going to change all of the signs for y and then put those first. So these signs are all going to change. Oh, I forgot to cover the test. -7, man. And then the x coordinates are going to come second. Okay, so this one was pretty quick. I didn't even have to graph it. So these are my prime answers. So memorizing the rules is pretty helpful. Otherwise, you need to graph it and turn your paper or use the translucent paper if that's the way you preferred. So there were, remember, 3 different methods to rotating. Okay, if I do the rules really are going to be very quick. If I do the rules for the reflection, I know the rules because I've just done this a lot, but you do want to memorize the rules if you need to use them. Don't write on the desk or anything like that because that'll result in an automatic 0. And I'm going to come around and check it every period, and then, or you can just graph these and do the reflections. So y equals x again just changes all the signs. So C, D, E, and F, all the signs just get flip-flopped. I mean, all the ordered pairs get flip-flopped. So -1, 2, 1, 7, -2, 6, and -4, 1. Okay, then we're going to be translating this amount. So we're going to be subtracting 3 from the x. So -1 minus 3 is going to give us -4. 2 minus 7 is -5. 1 minus 3 is -2. 7 minus 7 is 0. -2 minus 3 is -5. 6 minus 7 is -1. So a lot of different ways to do all these transformations. You can do it the way that you like, and then just check to make sure you got the same answers. You don't have to do it with the rules, and you don't have to do it with the graph if you don't prefer one of those methods. So -3, if we add -4 plus 1, and then -4 minus 3, so this is minus -7. And then 1 minus 7 is -6. I like the rules because after a while, like graphing these things gets kind of like tedious. So But on the test, I probably would.
Staff, please start the interruption. Staff members of DSS stopped by Ms. Davis's desk to sign a document. Can you please make sure you do so before?
Okay, so I'll show you the rotation for turning the paper if you don't want to use the rule. So I'll do 180-degree rotation turning the paper. So 0, 3 is L, 3, 4 is M, and 1, 2 is N. Those are really close together. 0, 3, 1, 2, and 3, 4. Okay, good. All right, so if I wanted to rotate this 180 degrees, I would turn it either way, 90 degrees, 180. So my points just change signs. So it's going to be -1, -2 for N, where N was 1, 2 before. It's -1, -2. L is 0, -3. It was 0, 3 before, so now it's 0, -3. Change the sign. -3, -4 changes these signs. So if I just do my rotation, the points again were L, M, and N turned into the opposite signs of what they were. So 0, -3, -3, but the same order, just the opposite signs. Then dilating it from a scale factor of 2 around the center means we just have to multiply these by 2. So this is X and Y. So we're multiplying each of these by 2. Oh, I can write them here. Timesing it by 2. Timesing it by 2. So those would be my answers. So that one was pretty quick if you know the rules. If you use the trace paper to do the rotation, you would draw in, it's a center at the origin, so you would draw this in and your points, and then anchor your pencil or pen here, turn it twice. One turn would line the grid lines up, the second turn would be down here, and the grid lines up, so moved a little bit. Grid lines need to line up, so it's going to be -1, -2, 0, -3. Okay, we did that already, so that's these. And then you would dilate it from there, so if it's from the origin, 1 unit down, 1 unit left, 2 down, you would double that. And you would go another 1 unit down, left and 2 units down for N. Okay, so the dilations around, so 6 and 7 probably the hard, well, all these on the back, because you're dilating other than the origin. So if it's not the origin, you can't just multiply it. You have to do the vectors or graph it and see where the points go to. So you would need to graph this one. Okay, so -7, 2, 5, 2, 5, -6, and -7, -6. So they're pretty spaced out. We're going to dilate it by a scale factor of 1/4 from -7, 6. Okay, so I'm going to cut the distances in fourths from this point. So W to this point is 2 units away. If I do 2 divided by 4, I only want to go half a unit away. And then it was 4 units down. If I do 4 divided by 4, I only want to go 1 unit down. So W prime is going to be right here. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. 10 units. It's 10 units away from this to X. Wait a minute, that's not right. Sorry. This should be -7, 6. I goofed on that. Okay, so W is actually, that makes it a little easier. So this one's going to be 4 units down, but we take 1/4 of that, so we're dividing 4 by 4, and we're only going to go 1 unit down for W prime. Okay, so the reason I knew it was wrong is because I actually kind of am doing a mental check in my head. Like, okay, between -7 and 5 is 12 units. So when I got 10 and I counted it, I knew I did something wrong because the x coordinates have a difference of 12. But if I count it, it should be 12 units going from -7 to 5 is the difference between these. So it's 12 units to the right, and it drops 4 units So 12 units to the right, cutting that into 4. 12 divided by 4 is 3, so I'm going to go 3 units to the right. And it dropped 4 units, but I'm cutting that, dividing that by 4, so I'm only going to drop 1. Hello. I'm recording the video. Okay, so Z goes from 6 to negative 6, so it's a drop of 12 units, and I'm cutting that and dividing that by 4, so I'm only going to drop 3 units. I'm going to do this with the vectors too, but some people didn't like to do all the vector workout, so I'm just showing how to do it without it. So I know X and Y both went over 12, so it's 12 divided by 4 would be 3 I'm going to go over. And then this went down the same amount that Z did, so I'm just making a rectangle here. So this would be my triangle my rectangle that I need to reflect across the y-axis. So this is not even my answer. It's just what I have to reflect across the y-axis. But if I do my vectors, I call this point C for center dilation. So center dilation to W, center to X, center to Y, and center to Z. Making a bunch of vectors. Okay, to W it was 0 and then 4 down, so 0, negative 4. To X it was 12 and negative 4. To Y it was 12 and negative 12. Yes, 6 is negative 6 is 12. And then for Z it was 0, negative 12. Okay, so I'm dividing each of those by 4. And from C, I'm going to move that amount. So I'm going to go 0 over and down 1, that's W. I'm going to go 3 over and down 1, that's X. 3 over and down 3, that's Y. 0 over down 3, that's Z. Okay, so that's the figure that I'm reflecting across the y-axis now. So I'm reflecting it across this line. So X is 4 units away, so it's going to go 4 units away for X prime. Y prime. And then the box is 3 units long, so I just need to put W over here and Z over here. So 4, 5 for X, 4, 3. Seven, 3, and 7, 5. Okay, and we're done with that one. So you can do vectors, or you can do the vectors in your head, but you still have to do some kind of lengthy process for the dilations around the point, other than the origin. Okay, 7 parallelograms. We want to rotate it 270 degrees around point 12. Two, negative 3, 6, negative 4, 7, negative 6, and 3, negative 5. Looks like I'm going to make it out of here by 2:30, so I'm almost done with this. Yay! Okay, so that's kind of sloppy, but it's supposed to be a parallelogram. Okay, we're going to turn it around 1, negative 2. Okay, and I'm going to use my handy-dandy trace paper and do it with that, because that's the quickest.